Abu Dhabi is just around the corner. Corey Sandhagen taking on Nurmagomedov. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my lock of the week, my best bets, and a quick breakdown of the whole card. If you just want to see certain parts of that, just skip ahead. There's timestamps in the description there. Sorry for the no video last week and the week before. We went on vacation and then I got sick, so nothing I could have done there. But so far, our lock of the week is sitting at around 100% win rate, so caramel. And then the remaining picks for the card is sitting around a 70% win rate as well. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into my lock of the week. So for this lock of the week, I have went with Deiveson Figueiredo. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't really like any fighter that much to make them a pure lock, but out of all the fighters, Deiveson seems like the most sense there. He's moving up in weight. Marlon Vera, obviously he's good. His last fight against Sugar Show definitely did not go his way. He got beaten on. That obviously needs the head. The punch in the last fifth round there seemed to mess him up too. And Deiveson Figueiredo, ever since moving up, has looked dominant. He's going to be a very technical striker, and his wrestling as well, phenomenal. He's been holding people down. He's been trying to get submissions. He's trained with Khabib for a little bit for this camp. So I just think all the things are kind of lining up for Deiveson Figueiredo to take on Vera. And what has Vera changed in his game? I think he's, an okay striker, and on the ground he's good, of course, but like, he's not really that dangerous in my opinion, where I think Deiveson Figueiredo, although has a quick button in him, I just don't think Vera is the guy to pull it out of him. So I'm going to go with Figueiredo. I just think he's going to be the better guy in the situation, more technical, going to be able to implement the wrestling and also be a more deadly striker. If it goes to a punch and exchange, sure, Figueiredo could get knocked out because Vera, seems to just not go down ever. But I'm still going to trust Figueiredo. So hopefully we stick with the 100% here. This is probably my least confident I've been with lock of the week, but what can we do? So let's move on to a quick breakdown of the whole card. Get into the whole card breakdown quickly. So we have Sadiq Dumas taking on Dennis Tululin. I think Dumas is going to get this done. I can imagine probably a decision. I can't imagine him knocking out Tululin. I don't rate Tululin as a fighter. I just don't think he's UFC caliber. And I think Dumas is probably taking his career a little bit more seriously. He's going to be the better striker, technical. Save your money though. Both guys are not good. I'm just going to be quite honest there. So probably bet the over 1.5 for that. I can imagine that hidden, but I don't imagine any finish or anything like that. But Dumas should be able to get it done 29-28 is what I imagine. Jai Herbert taking on Rolando Bedoya. Jai Herbert should get it done. He is low volume at times and kind of a slow starter, but I think his experience within the UFC, him just having all his fights in the UFC against Bedoya, who's only had one fight, who did look good, high volume, but the problem is he just lacked the knockout ability, especially because he's going to be moving up in weight, I believe, for this fight. I think Jai Herbert's going to be able to slow down the pace, be more technical, land the more impactful shots, and probably squeak out a decision as well. Next up, Victoria Dudikova taking on Sam Hughes. Going with Dudikova. I'm just going to keep on riding this train until it kind of falls off the rails there. Dudikova, she's on a win streak, I think 2 fight or 3 fight or something like that, against very mid opponents, to be honest, but she looked good. She did look good against them, so I'm just going to see how high she can go. Sam Hughes, towards the end of her career, the only thing that she kind of has is pressure. She's not finishing anybody, so I can imagine this fight also going long, bet the over. But Dudikova, still going to ride this train until proves me wrong, Next up, Garam Kutalize taking on Jordan Vucenic, I think is how you say his name. Going with Garam. Garam impressed me in his last fight against Elvis Brenner. Regardless of the loss, he was dominating for 2 rounds, and then Brenner landed like a throat punch that kind of threw off everything for Garam. So I'm still going with Garam. I think he's a deadly man in the cage. He has phenomenal striking, leg kicks, grappling as well if he needs to use it. I doubt this fight is going to go there. He has good takedown defense, so even if Jordan does shoot, I just don't think it's going to be enough, especially on short notice for Jordan too. That doesn't really help his case there. Jordan does have good power, good submissions, but I just think the short notice and against Garam, I just don't think it's going to be enough. The only kind of in this situation, which is the reason why Garam isn't my lock of the week, is the fact of he has had a year and a bit off since the loss, and with strikers that ring rust, it tends to affect them more than it does grapplers. So I don't know how Garam's going to look. That's the only reason why he's not my lock of the week. I'm pretty confident in him to get it done though. Next up, we have Shamil Gaziev taking on Dontel Mays. I think the Blob is going to get it done. You know, Shamil, even though he looked shite in his main event against Rosenstrike, you know, it's a main event. Maybe he cracked under the pressure. His cardio sucked as well. I think they pushed him a little bit too fast for what he is. I'm still on the Gaziev kind of, you know, train there, but, you know, I'm picking him based on his opponent, not because I actually think Gaziev is that good. I just don't rate Dontel Mays that much. So I think the Blob gets it done, but I don't know. Be careful with your money for this one. Next up, we have Muhammad Yahya taking on Kai Fernandez. I think I butchered the guy's first name, but what can you do? I think Fernandez is going to get it done. I just think he's going to be the far more technical guy in this. I think his takedown defense is going to hold up as well, and I don't rate Yahya. So simple as, I think Fernandez is going to get it done. I'm pretty confident in that one too. Next up, Azamat, I'm not even going to pronounce his last name, taking on Alonzo Menifield. I think it's going to be the first one to knock each other out. So honestly, first one to the punch. Based on how Alonzo's fight went last time against Carlos Ulberg, who I do rate as a fighter, I'm pretty high on Ulberg there. I just don't think Alonzo's going to get this one done. I think Azamat, if it goes chin to chin on who was going to go down first, I think Alonzo is going to hit the canvas. So I'm going to trust in Azamat's chin, not necessarily his fighting style or who he is as a fighter, because I don't really rate him either. But I don't know, Alonzo Menifield, he could knock out Azamat and vice versa. So I'm going to go with Azamat just because I think his chin's going to hold up a little bit better. That is strictly the only reason why. Main card time, we have Joe Alvarez taking on Elves Brenner. Even though I do rate Elves Brenner, I think Joe Alvarez is a deadly assassin. I think he has going to have far more technical striking, and Brenner is pretty much just a brawler. He hits hard, but no kind of technique, nothing like that. And I think Alvarez is going to be able to piece him up on the feet. If Brenner does decide to take it down, Alvarez is a phenomenal submission artist. So I think he's not even going to worry about things, and I think Cisco will kind of line it up for Alvarez to get this one done. Mackenzie Dern taking on Lupi Godinez. Going to go with Lupi. The only thing, though, is if she goes to the ground, she loses. Mackenzie Dern is a really good submission artist. That's it. Her striking, abysmal. Takedowns, abysmal. Lupi should be able to get it done. Okay? So as long as it stays on the feet, Lupi's, you know, bet the house, you know. But if she decides to go to the ground, she's done for. She is done for. Tony Ferguson taking on Michael Chiesa. Why the hell is Michael Chiesa a 7-1 favorite? Huh? Who the hell made that line? Going with Tony Ferguson. He's due for a win. Due for a win. Okay? Chiesa should win. Okay? But I'm on the side of Tony Ferguson. I'm not going to give up yet. 7 fights losing. You know what they say. 8th time the charm. He's going to get it done. He's due for a win. And Michael Chiesa, I actually don't like him as a fighter. So going back in my boy Tony Ferguson. Come on. He's going to make it look easy. Round 1, knockout. Marlon Vera taking on Davison Figueiredo. Obviously, Figueiredo's the lock, so I'm going to go with him. Obviously, I've already explained why. I think he's going to be a more technical guy, being able to implement the grappling as well. He's just going to get it done. Next up, Shara Magomedov taking on Michael Olasechuk. Going with Shara Magomedov, even though he can't see out of one eye. I just think he is a more technical, not necessarily a technical striker than Olasechuk. I just think Olasechuk, he's just too hittable. And I think the pressure for Magomedov is going to be too much for Olasechuk and probably going to end up in a knockout for him. So, and Olasechuk, he doesn't seem like in the right headspace. There was a recent thing on Instagram where he was saying, like, if I lose and when I lose, you know, kind of thing, that this is probably going to be it for me. So, don't like the headspace, don't like the short notice as well. I like Magomedov to be able to get this done. So, yeah, not super confident to be honest, but I'm going to trust it until... It's the same kind of situation as the Dudikova kind of thing, where keep trusting it until it kind of fails you. So ride the Magomedov train, hopefully make some money off him, and that's that for the co-main event. Main event time, Corey Sandhagen taking on Umar Nurmagomedov. I don't like this fight. Well, I mean, I like this fight because it actually has title implications, because the next guy's going to pretty much get a title shot, but I don't like it because I like both. Corey Sandhagen, you know, he's obviously great with grappling as well, and then wrestling. He has good striking as well. But Umar Nurmagomedov, I think he's just going to be bigger in this, and I think he's going to be able to hold Corey Sandhagen down to the ground. And yeah, I don't know. It's just this one sucks because I want Corey Sandhagen to win, But Corey Sandhagen in his last few fights hasn't super impressed me. To be fair, Umar did get dropped in his last fight against a nobody, but then went down to his wrestling and kind of just laid on the guy for 3 rounds, which, to be fair, Umar is not an exciting fighter. Yeah, this one, 50-50, honestly, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go with the underdog. I'm going to go with Corey Sandhagen. I just want him to win, and I think he's going to be a more exciting champion if he does get there. So, Umar, yeah, I mean, he's probably just going to lay on him for 5 rounds, so bet the over is what I would say for this one. But Corey Sandhagen, I think he's going to be technical and also going to be able to probably get a knockdown. And then if he gets a knockdown, maybe a finish on. Yeah. You know what? The more I talk about it, the more I get confident in Corey Sandhagen. So probably my own echo chamber here. But yeah, Corey Sandhagen's going to get it done. Not really much of a breakdown there, but just going to bet Corey Sandhagen. Let's move on to the best bets for the cards. I got Grom and then over 1.5 or 2.5, depending on what you want to do with the Tony Ferguson fight, because it's going to decision. Both guys are extremely tough. And then the over 3.5 for the main event. I think that one hits too. Davison Figueiredo, money line. He's at good odds right now, like -150 or something around that point. Then the next bet we got is Shara plus Corey, or you can do Shara plus Umar. I think either one of those is probably going to hit. And then we have just a Tony Ferguson straight money line. He's going to win, okay? Probably by Darce choke or decision there. And then over 1.5 for Dumas and Hughes. Neither one of them are dangerous, so it's probably going to go to the decision for both. So you can probably do over 2.5. I just like the 1.5s because it's just safer. You get less odds, but it's more guaranteed kind of to hit. And then the next up, we have a 3-leg parlay, Jai plus Shamil plus Fernandez. I think all 3 of those fighters win, so why not throw it into a nice little parlay. I'm probably going to come up with a Discord at some point, or like a Telegram group, just to put my actual bets, because these bets are obviously bets I like, necessarily not the ones I make. So I want to make a kind of a place for me to put those bets where everybody can just kind of join. It'll be free, obviously, and then people can either just tail or discuss those bets as well. So yeah, that was the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. We are at closing in on 50 subscribers, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be great, and obviously like the video, of course. And I will get the next video up for next week for the UFC, which is the next event here. UFC Tybura versus Spivak. Kind of a main event, but whatever. Should be a good card. So yeah, until next time.